What's up, traders? We're back. We're back. We're back. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. All right. Let's see what's popping on gold. All right. I'm gonna start an analysis here. Won't be too long. It's been a minute. Yeah, it has been a minute. Like I said, we were in Dubai, so it was a little tougher to stream from there. There's a lot of shit going on over there. Also, Instagram story. All right, let's get into it. Let's do a little analysis here. What we got going on gold over here. We did call these sells this morning over here. It didn't exactly play out the way we wanted it to, but I had this over here. Obviously, I wasn't expecting it to go to the 38 this morning. It was pretty bearish, aggressive. So I had this aggressive fib over here. And I had like one confirmation over here. I think on the lower time frame, I had like a 15 or something like over here, I think. Took an entry over here. This one hit stop loss. And then I proceeded to take, I already had this fib also. So I had an entry somewhere over here. It didn't really go the way I wanted it to go, but it ended up coming down. It was a little bit choppy over here, honestly. Like, you get your confirmation over here and you can't even afford a drawdown right now, in the type of market that we're in. Really, you have to be really precise. Because you see, let's say if you were to enter after this candle here, this is like 100 pips like drawdown, but your trade is still valid. So it's really tough conditions right now. You need to really, snipe it basically. What's your biggest winning streak? Well, I don't know, honestly. Maybe like 6 or 7. When we win trades, it's like minimum 250, 300 pips. So if we're winning 7 in a row, that's crazy. My losses on average, they're between 20 to 70, 80 pips, and my winners are like between 250 to 500, 600 pips. So yeah, what am I seeing on gold? I'm seeing this level over here seems to be holding. This support over here came down, formed a support over here. I do see sells to go deeper. I just think that maybe it's going to be some kind of news that is maybe going to push it. But we are holding really, really well at the 50 over here. This 50 fib is holding really well. So it's going to be interesting to see whether, we push down to the 61 or, we hold and go up to these levels over here. If you go on the H4, you can see that this structure is still being respected here. It hasn't broken the low yet. It came really close. So, anything can happen. It's really tough to say right now. It's 50-50. Yeah, just waiting to see what happens here. Seems like, Asia session so far hasn't given us too much volume. Just been ranging. Gonna see if we can get some volume before 9 or, around that time. But, ideally I like to set positions overnight around this time. But it doesn't seem like we have much going on right now. I thought you were gonna stream in Dubai. Yeah, bro. Actually, we tried, but it's just super hectic over there. Honestly, a lot of work, and on top of that, we went for like weddings and stuff like that. So, well, we went for a wedding of a family childhood friend. So it was pretty hectic over there. I didn't trade much from there, honestly. Took a few trades. maybe like one trade or two trades in 2 weeks. I didn't have much time to hop on the charts. I kept an eye, obviously, and it's not like I really missed out on anything. I missed out on one trade, probably. Yeah, shit happens. Sometimes you have things to do outside of the charts. Honestly, when I'm distracted, or like I'm not fully focused, then I'm not gonna take a trade, because I know that it's gonna hit stop loss if I'm not fully focused. When I'm on the charts, I just have to be fully dialed in. So yeah, these could be pivotal levels here. 3292. What about this? 3370 around. This is a pretty nice level here. We had this wick that came up close this year. It's following really nice bearish structure right now. And I'm just looking to see where I can get an entry over here. Look on the retracement over here. Look to go further down. But like I said, this is like a pivotal level over here. You have your daily MA that's approaching also. Your H4 MA, it's holding the last straw over here. So tomorrow, what news do we have? Let's see. So tomorrow we have CPI. That's the one. That's a major news right there. So yeah, we have really big news tomorrow, and that's probably going to be the deciding factor. But yeah, CPI tomorrow, really big news. See on Wednesday, what do we have? Not much. On the US dollar side, PPI, unemployment claims on Thursday. Oh, we have Powell speaking also 8:40. So Thursday is going to be a pretty big day also. Friday we have prelim. Today we didn't have much. Trump was speaking this morning. I saw stocks jumped up like crazy today. It's a pretty big day. Chinny in the house. CPI tomorrow. Yes, sir. CPI. That's what we were saying. So CPI is probably going to decide, what happens over here. Whether we're going to go for a deeper correction over here, or we're going to make our way up. But, I expect this daily structure to hold. It's going to play around somewhere over here and then just make its way up, like always. Like, it's always respected structure. Like, you can see on the weekly over here, we went up, retrace, up, retrace, up, retrace, up. It's always the same story every time. When it's happening, like when the retracement is happening, it may seem like it's gonna flop or something, but like, look at this. This is a prime example over here. Like, this is a really good example. So at the time, you had your structure over here from the low to the high, and you can see price was coming down over here. And by the time like this push happened over here, I still remember a lot of people thought that now we're shifting bearish, and it came really close to breaking this low over here. But look, ultimately, like it respected the low, and then it made its way up. So structure always gets respected in a bullish trend. You see over here, low, high, low. This is not your low yet. Now we've broken the high, so this is your next low. You can see it just always gets respected. So the same reason over here, I don't see any reason for this low over here to break. If we're still bullish, like fundamentally, technically, all that stuff, there's no reason for that low to break. So yeah, if I were to swing trade gold, like I would probably enter like somewhere here, at the 50, 61, and target these levels over here. Do you think gold will hit 4,000? Yeah, I do think. Obviously, it's gonna hit 4,000 one day. I think even this year, possibly. I don't know actually. This year, maybe like start of next year or towards the end of the year is possible. Yeah, it's very possible, but I feel like it has to come for some kind of small correction on the monthly scale. Like this is super overpriced. Like since March 2024, every monthly has been bullish. Like we've had one bearish monthly here in November, December, and it's like super tiny. It was not really a correction whatsoever. You have this low over here to this high here. So ideally, if it can come down at least until here to correct, that would be amazing. You would get your monthly scale correction, and then you would be ready to push higher. But yeah, just waiting to see what gives over here. Like, look at this daily candle. It's just dead volume right now. Nothing going on. But I do expect, the market to stall until CPI, honestly. Like, before, just a bit before CPI, there might be a few moves, like liquidity grabs and stuff. But I fully expect CPI to make, to give us the direction. So I'm going to be on here till 9. See how the H4 closes. See if we get a little bit more volume kicking in. But, if it's just like this, then there's not much going on. So yeah, the live streams are going to start. Now we're back fully focused. What cars did you drive in Dubai? Man, a ton, bro. Lot of cars. Dubai is crazy, bro. How was the marriage? The marriage was insane. Really, really nice. Really exotic. I don't know. I don't know if you can say that, but it was like really well planned. Yeah, it was crazy actually. Damn, bro. These candles got me snoozing. Yo, what is volume, man? Like, how are you even supposed to trade this? It's like barcodes right now. Literal barcodes, yeah, literal barcodes. This is the type of shit you see in Asia. Like, it happens in New York, but like rarely, like probably like twice a month max. But like eventually, I don't think there's been in New York where it's just been like that the whole session. At the end you break through or whatever. Asia can be like this often. Even if you were to dig down, on the lower time frame, like a break above this high would be nice to push up. But with volume like this, what happens is that you can get faked out a lot. So you need to be cautious. This daily candle yesterday, I mean the one that just closed today, it didn't have a wick. So if this level were to hold and it pushes up, it's gonna go make this wick over here. But like I said, CPI is really gonna tell the story. I do feel like we can come lower to correct, but you can't forget that we're in a super bullish trend. And fundamentally, technically, we're bullish. So if anything happens, like any new fundamental event comes out or whatever, gold is ready to go up. Gold is super bullish. If we do come down to correct, like I said, I do expect this level here to hold. So it's gonna play in between these levels over here. If we do come down to correct, it would honestly surprise me, except if we have really, really bad fundamental news and data that we break this low over here and come correct on a monthly scale. It would honestly surprise me. Why? Because if you take this fib over here also, to come correct at least to the 38 or even the 50, it's still respecting the smaller time frame fib, which is the lowest 100. So it can come to the monthly 38, monthly 50, and it's still going to be respecting this low. So it would honestly surprise me if we broke this low over here. Like I can confidently, enter buys for swing over here and like put my stops here or whatever. Like if I'm talking on a swing trading scale, right? And just target like a nice 1 to 2 or whatever. This would be obviously a long-term trade, swing trade, but it would be a pretty nice trade. But yeah, for the people that swing, they're super patient. Like for sure, you're probably not gonna snipe this. Like it's probably gonna go in a bit of drawdown or whatever. But that's swing trading. Where's AS Banks? AS Banks is chilling. He's gonna be on the stream soon. AS Banks is working hard. But yeah, looking forward to CPI tomorrow. Looking forward to get a breakthrough here, whichever side it decides to go. We do have some volume picking up here. Let's see, H4 is about to close, but you know, this is a super small body. Can I take any trade off this? Let's see. I just want to see how the H4 opens over here. You know, does it open with a lot of volume? Like I said, on the lower time frame, we do have this resistance over here, but you know, this 50 is holding here, but you know, what can you really do over here? What can you really do over here? Say you had this low over here, it came, yeah. I would wait for like a retracement till 3225, like a double bottom over here. You know, price comes back down over here, show some rejection, and then we can take buys upwards. But yeah, I'm not seeing much right now. Just this 50 here, you know, seems to be holding. So when I wake up tomorrow morning during New York, I'm gonna see, you know, if we've broken lower or you know we're shooting up, and then I'm gonna wait for CPI like to come out, you know, for the storm to calm down. Probably like 9 a.m. H4 close. I always give it 30 minutes. So you know, whenever we have a really big news, I give it 30 minutes after for you know the storm to calm down, and then I see which direction you know we're taking or what happened, how are the numbers and everything. So yeah, there's not much going on right now. I'm gonna be calling it a stream over here. It's really dead candles, but if anything, you know, I'm gonna be up to like 10 or 11. You know, if I see something, some volume pick up, anything happen overnight, we're gonna be sending it in the private Discord. But you know, for now, there's not much going on. I don't expect anything either. Like I said before, CPI. So we'll see tomorrow. It was a short stream, but you know, we're back now. And you know, we're going to be streaming from Asia Open 8 to 9:15, depending on if there's volume or any trades. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.